If you've been a listener of the Ski Rex Media podcast for a while, you know that I do sequel episodes from time to time. This is one of those times with a four-time Olympian, another friend from the UK, here today on the Ski Rex Media podcast. How we doing, everybody? It's Tim from Ski Rex Media once again, and it's always me. I don't have a co-host. I don't have any employees. It's just little old me, but of course I do have a guest later on in the episode. The third Olympian, I believe, to be on the Ski Rex Media podcast. I think it's the third. You could go back and double check me on that one if you want. Go back through past episodes. I'm pretty sure it was just Benjamin Alexander, Brenna Huckabee, and now Chemmy Alcott from the UK. So we're on to our third Olympian. That's right. Ski Rex Media is growing by leaps and bounds and all that other good stuff. The Ski Rex Media podcast is brought to you in part by Whaleback Mountain, a place I'll be heading out to in about an hour from when I'm recording this session here to get this episode all completed for you to listen to. Whaleback Mountain is 15 minutes from the Ski Rex Media headquarters. It is right off of exit 16, right off of I-89 in Enfield, New Hampshire, and it is a wonderful place to ski. I'll be skiing there this afternoon, and I think you should ski there on any afternoon that you so choose. If you want something from a ski area in a small package, you can get it there. If you want your groomed runs, they got them. You want tree runs? They got tree runs. You want natural runs? They got natural runs. They have the learning area. They have a rental shop. Their rental shop is tuning my skis. They're doing my edge and wax right now. That's right, man. Anything you need, they have it in a small package. Very easy to navigate. Again, very easy to get to right off the interstate. The interstate is practically in their backyard. Well, more appropriately, it's in their front yard. The interstate runs right along the edge, kind of their parking lot. Head over there to see what I mean. If you don't understand what I'm saying there, go on over there, see what I mean. Their ticket prices are more than competitive. One of the best prices you can get in New England, straight up. If you have an Indy Pass, you have 2 days waiting for you at Whaleback Mountain. Come use your Indy Pass. Do you have an Uphill New England Pass? That works at Whaleback too. Scan the barcode on the lift shed and then head on up. Or there's a barcode at the top as well. You know how your New England Uphill New England Pass works. You know how it works. Come check out Whaleback Mountain. It's one of my favorite places. It is my home mountain. It's one of my favorite places. And I do lifts. I'm a lift operator Tuesday and Wednesday nights. So you can say hi. Sometimes I'm in this high vis. Sometimes I'm not. But you'll always know it's me because I'm the most talkative and can't shut up, as you know. Whaleback Mountain. Ski it to believe it. Also, are you looking for something new for your après adventures? A little something different to drink, maybe? Are you? I can help you out with that. See, a couple episodes ago, we had Ryan Thompson, the founder of 10th Mountain Whiskey and Spirit Company in Vail, Colorado, on the podcast. He was the guest along with their New England sales representative, Jay Baldessari, and they talked all about 10th Mountain Whiskey and Spirit Company from Vail, Colorado, which is interesting enough. They told you all about their ammunition for your après adventures, but we learned all about, or not all about, but we learned some about the 10th Mountain Division of the U.S. Army. Isn't that something? Yes, very veteran friendly, very much working with the 10th Mountain Division as well. They're not just some posers who picked the name because they thought it would sell them something. They're spitting distance from where the 10th Mountain was formed. They work with the 10th Mountain Division and the veterans. They have veterans on their as employees. And they work with tons of veteran groups. Very philanthropic. Isn't that amazing how I biffed on some of that read and I spit out the word philanthropic? Isn't that something? 10th Mountain Whiskey and Spirits Company, man, they have bourbons, whiskey, vodka, all kinds of different stuff for you to try, and they can ship it to you. You don't have to have it in your local bar or liquor store or restaurant. They can ship it to you. You can talk to your local bar, restaurant, or liquor store to start getting it, and we can get that done, but they can get it to you as well. And when you go to their website and order something from 10th Mountain Whiskey and Spirit Company, you could use the code SKI, SKI. That'll get you 10% off your order. So, Ski Rex Media listeners, go ahead and take advantage of that now while the getting's good, man, and get yourself a little something new for your après adventures. 10th Mountain Whiskey and Spirits Company from Vail, Colorado. And lastly, you have seen me wear and heard me talk about my Imbrace, IMBRACE, my Imbrace Snow Sports Leggings, a set of compression leggings that's basically like wearing, you know what it's like wearing? It's like wearing knee pads, hip pads, back support. It's all these things that can, when you have a little bit of compression, can make your day go longer. It can make your body feel better. It can make your pain more manageable. It is a wonderful piece of kit. It is great. And that's actually what today's episode is about. We talked to one of the people that helped design and develop the Imbrace Snow Sport Legging, who just happens to be a professional alpine racer, an Olympic class Olympian, 4-time alpine racer. She knows her stuff. And let me tell you something. I love wearing my Imbrace Snow Sports Leggings when I ski. My knees feel better. My hips feel better. My back feels much better. It is wonderful. They you know what? Take my word for it, but also try them out. And I'll give you a code for that in a minute. But when you try them out, you're going to find that you'll ski in them all day. I'm like, yeah, I feel good. But you'll notice the real difference when you take them off and you're going to want to put them back on. And I do that. I don't put those back on necessarily, but I do put on my Dynamic Plus, another product from Imbrace, my Dynamic Plus leggings, just to keep everything supported, keep everything feeling good, man. They're a wonderful product. I think you should try it. And I can get you 10% off at Imbrace as well. That's right. If you use the code SKIREX10, SKIREX10, you get 10% off from Imbrace as well. Go ahead, Imbrace.com, IMBRACE.com. Pick out your pair, use my code SKIREX10, get yourself 10% off and try them out for yourself. I think you'll love them. I love them. Other people love them that I've talked to. Try them out. Imbrace and Imbrace.com. Now, as I said, we have another Olympian coming on the old program here this afternoon, this morning, this evening, tonight. That's the beauty of a recorded program, my friend. You can listen to it whenever you want, morning, noon, and night. In the car, not in the car, in the house, in the bathroom, in the shower, in the garden, or wherever you want to set up, you can listen. And we do have our third Olympian this time, and we're going to talk not just about her career. We do talk about her career a little bit. I'm not going to lie about you. I'm talking about Chemmy Alcott, British Alpine Olympian skier. She did it. She was there many years ago, retired now from the sport. Again, we're throwing it back a little bit, but she's still very much into it and very much helped develop the Imbrace Snow Sports Leggings, which I talk about, I wear. We talked to Geoff Hanson a couple episodes ago about what it took to make the Imbrace Snow Sport Legging. And as he and I said, there's only so much we could talk about. He was there when he came up with the ideas, he started to develop them, he started to get, the design ideas and everything together. You can go back and listen to that episode, hear that story, and then you'll be caught up. Yeah, go back a couple episodes, either before this one or after this one, in whatever order you want to listen to them. Get Geoff Hanson's episode, and you will be able to, you'll know what I'm talking about. In any case, gosh, it's funny. When I recorded the episode, I was talking to Chemmy ahead of time, as I always do. You always end up talking a little bit before you hit record. That's just the way it goes. So then I hit record, and you're going to hear it in the intro. I was just biffing left and right. It's actually pretty funny. Just like I was doing there just now in this little intro. It was funny, so I left it in. So you will get that. That's a lot of fun. But the point is, we're still talking Imbrace Snow Sports Leggings. We're talking more about the development from the person who had a ton of input on the development and who can speak, obviously, from a woman's perspective. She is a woman, something Geoff and I can't do because we're dudes, we're guys, we're bros, we're all that fun stuff. Chemmy can tell us all about that, and she is going to. Just before we get into the episode, though, please subscribe to the SkiRex Media Podcast on your favorite podcast app or Podbean. That's the one I use as my host. You can subscribe there through the Podbean app or whichever app you choose to use. There are so many that you can get the SkiRex Media Podcast on. Follow the SkiRex Media Podcast on social media, X, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, the usual places, the big four, I guess you could say. Plus, you never know. where else it might pop up. skirexmedia.com. Get you all that stuff. It shows you right where to go. So go to skirexmedia.com. You can find all the information you need, including contact information. Send me an email. You can send me a voicemail. You can contact me through the DMs on the social media apps. You can absolutely interact as a fan of SkiRex Media and the SkiRex Media podcast. And you can go to the merch shop. The beanies have been selling. Not huge, but they're out there. Check them out. Our buddy Dr. Schutz, the author of Oh, the Mountains You Will Ski and illustrator, he has one. Our buddy Tech Rob, charter fan of SkiRex Media, top fan of SkiRex Media, number one hype man of SkiRex Media, he has one. There's going to be more out there. Get them while the getting's good. And you never know. If you're listening to this before President's Week, I might have put out a code. I'm not sure. We'll see. Go check that out because this is coming out before President's Week. But if you happen to be listening to it late during President's Week, check to see if there's a code. Maybe I can give you a little bit off. You can get a beanie and maybe something else. Who knows? SkiRex Media, skirexmedia.com, SkiRex Media Podcast. Please follow everywhere that you would like and everywhere that you can, including Patreon, which will not only get you the podcast early, you'll get it on Sunday, but you'll get it ad-free. So you'll get much, into the main topic much quicker, right? Right. Okay, shameless plugs are done. Ad reads are done. Let us get into the interview again with Chemmy Alcott, 4-time Olympian for the British ski team. She is an English woman herself, so we now have another friend from the UK. The UK audience is growing too. I do have, obviously, fans in the US. I'm an American. That's where most of my fans are going to be. The shows from the United States, that's where most of them are going to be. We have second, Canada. We have a decent Canadian following right there, not too far from here. And now the UK is getting a pretty good following too. We have plenty of friends from the UK. And here's a new friend from the UK, Miss Chemmy Alcott. So please enjoy the episode, and then I'll come back to you after it's over, after the interview's over, and we'll say good evening, good day, good night, whatever it may be. Enjoy the interview, my friends. Thanks. SkiRex Media is not... we've had Olympians on before, sure. Brenna Huckabee. We've had Benjamin Alexander, first alpiner from Jamaica. Pretty cool. Also from the UK originally, though. We have a lot of friends from the UK, and today we make a new friend, Olympic athlete. All right, she's a professional or was a professional skier. Chemmy Alcott, how are you? How are you, ma'am?
I'm good, thanks. I'm really good. How are you?
I was great
until something.
I need something. Holy smokes. I was just saying before we record, I'm doing great. I'm moving quick. I'm, doing things. Everything's going great. And we tongue tie. So Chemmy is here today. Again, I was just saying to her, we might descend into talking skiing and ski racing, alpiner, as we know. Been in 4 Olympics, I believe. Yes, I'm looking at it, 4 Olympics. So, and then probably all kinds of
My
other
first one was in Salt Lake.
See?
My first one was back in 2002. That shows how old I am.
Yeah. Well, you're younger than me, so that's good. We're good. So, again, we could talk about all the skiing and the ski racing and all that fun and all that stuff, but we're actually here to do a sequel. The other day, we talked to Geoff Hanson, founder of Imbrace. Cool, awesome leggings for year-round. The snow sports ones are what got he and I connected. I love them. I ride them every single time I am out. It makes for such a better experience. But there was a part of that interview we really couldn't go into because we're guys, we're dudes, we're men. We don't know what it's like to be a woman. We just don't. So we not only got a woman who's used them, who is kind of the face of them, but you helped design them. So Chemmy, how did this start? We heard Geoff tell the story. Let's see what it is from your side.
So I was a big fan of the Imbrace compression leggings for general life. Anyway, I've torn my left ACL and I've got a metal nail down the bone marrow of my right leg. So I've got quite a lot of lower limb injuries. And I love the compression element of doing sport with that kind of tightness for confidence. And I wrote to him and I said, look, I love your stuff. I think that would you be interested in collaborating? Because I think we could make these incredible for snow sports. I've got a lot of ideas that we could help performance, help pain management, help recovery with using what you've got, but adapting it to be more snow sport specific. Did I get that right? Is that what he said? That's
That
how it
is what
happened.
Jeff said.
Yeah.
See,
I kind
I
of
was one.
hounded him. I was like, hey, I've done this a few times. And I'm like, I know this is a bit weird, but I'm a big fan and I want to contribute. I think we can make something amazing.
Yeah, it's absolutely what he said. I was about to call him out and say you were name dropping, but he wasn't name dropping. It's a
No.
legit story. And again, all in good fun. I know. I don't honestly think Jeff was a liar. Like that this was just a joke. But beyond the joke, that's brilliant to get not only someone who's in the industry doing this for you. It was every day, all the time. And then you're a fan of the product anyway. I also am. I have the Dynamic Plus as well. It's very awesome. I'll even wear them at work. I'll wear them sitting around the house. I don't care. I love it. Compression all across. I don't have the repair work that a professional skier would have, but my knees are shot just like a professional skier. Similar anyway. So you come in, you say, Jeff, I have some ideas. Now, what you just alluded to is that you've done this before. So what's that about?
Oh no, I've only done it with. I was a big fan of Skoda, so I hounded
Gotcha.
Skoda to try and become an ambassador, and they ignored me for years because I was doing it through the wrong routes, and I was doing it on social media, and then finally I was on a boat actually at an event with a lot of lawyers, and one of them represented the VW group. And I'm like, hey, who do I speak to at Skoda? I've been messaging them, and I showed him all these huge amount of direct messages, and he was like, oh my god, you really love Skoda, the brand. I'm like, yeah, I love what they're doing with women's empowerment. And I think that, anyway, and that started something as well. So I think with Geoff, I mean, obviously there was a much more natural understanding and mutual passion for snow sports. And it kind of went back to 3 years ago. There was a brand called Autobox. I don't know if you've heard of them, but they make shells. Out of
Okay.
ski wear, and they made this kind of really weird pair of trousers that I got sent to test that had big Velcro straps around the middle. And I was like, oh, this is kind of weird. But then I
Sure.
realized that I have my hips are externally rotated, so I've got a lordotic spine. So I tend to stick my bum out a bit, which
Okay.
means my core's weak. Even though it looks like it's strong, I never put it in the right position to make it strong. You know, that kind of belly button to back. And I
Gotcha.
realized that by tightening these straps, at the beginning of the day, I was getting much more core engagement when I skied. And I was like, okay, this is great. But then I had to send the trousers back, and I
Uh-huh.
realized that my core engagement had gone. That cheat. I wanted that cheat. And I was like, okay, well, why can't we put this into a thermal product, like a straight next to the skin product? And then obviously I've got lower knee pain, but also a lot of people, the big panic they have when they ski is that control around their knee. Everyone worries about their knees. We hear horror stories, understandably. So actually having support around the knees is amazing, even if you don't have any pain. And
Totally.
then my big pet peeve is people are putting their thermals into their ski boots, because it's all about that connection, that shin to the front of your ski boot. You know, we're talking about flexing. I always use the analogy like put some oranges in your ankle joints and crush those oranges, make orange juice. And people are doing it, but they've got this massive ridge line in there. And I'm like, okay, well,
Yeah.
your thermal should not go into your ski boots. So there were a few things that straight away I was like, we could create something amazing. And then you talked about the women's perspective. I get really cold at certain times of the month around my core, which
Sure.
isn't just a me thing, it's a women thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was forever trying to get those heat pads and stick them somewhere and lose them down my thermal legs. And so I said to Geoff, listen, this also I think would be a great idea. And actually, Geoff really fought for this, because the guys we have making the product, like, this is going to make costs go up. Putting these heat pad pouches in this is going to be a lot of money. And I was like, I
Sure.
really think it's good. I think it's really important for people and for men to have warm backs. You know, we talked about, I'm sure you talked about the hernias in men,
Mm-hmm.
but just having that confidence around your core that it's not blocked and frozen, that it's switched on and it's warm. And so Geoff was completely amazing, actually, because I felt like I was throwing curveballs at him and he was just catching them and juggling them. And then he's like, boom, how about this?
I
And
love that.
yeah.
Well, it was interesting when when he started talking to you, and one of the reasons he went so hard to get that female perspective was, he didn't know. He just doesn't know, you
Yeah,
know. I don't
yeah.
know. I don't know nothing. I know I know who Tim is. That's it. I don't know nothing else. But it made sense not only to get the perspective, but it makes sense all around. As you've talked about the different features in the Embrace leggings that are kind of woman centric. You know, we talked about how if you go into just general retail, women's apparel, and I've talked about this dozens of times on this program, how women's clothes are not, it's a mess out there. That industry is a
They're
mess.
not
I worked in
technical. They
retail.
are not
Yeah.
technical. It's fashion first. And I'm like, hey, what
Yes.
about women who care about performance? I mean, we are in a culture now where health is everything. Health is
Yeah.
our wealth. And we know that. But still, we're kind of pushed towards fabrics and fashion things that have no technical implications, that don't help us with performance at all.
Mhm.
And actually, I was like, well, I think we can do this all. Like, if we make it look cool and it actually does what it says it does, then we could
Yeah.
create something that people will love.
And you absolutely have. And that's what I was getting at. The it's like I said, being in a retail background myself, I've seen it firsthand. I'm like, what is this? I go into like men's anything. It's a measurement. It's a measurement, and then it's whatever. You know, you whatever technical jargon one might use. There's so much, and it all means the same stuff. It's ridiculous. Retail is a great industry, but it is bizarre. I will say that. Anyway, but you go to women's and then it's like it's a number and it's another number and it's another number and it's another number. Then if you leave your country, it's 10 more numbers and it's all this other stuff. You know, and again, shout out to Maria Baker, who's also trying to solve a similar issue down there in Australia with Nobody's Princess. Not technical, so well, not something you could get technical like this, but it's definitely outdoor stuff. Anyway, the point is you did something awesome. You got in there, you got Geoff's attention. I love that persistence. I also have to do that. I never know which channel is the right channel to go. This I just lucked out because Geoff knows you, so I got that. So you go now. If you go to the Imbrace website, anybody, that's embrace.com, very easy. IMBRACE.com. You see a little video, and Chemmy's there just tearing it up in this. So she's not only the face of this, were you also like lead test person, test
Yeah,
dummy, if you
yeah.
will?
Me and my
Okay.
husband. So my
Okay.
husband, he's had hernia operations. He's got bad knees, from actually just wear and tear from being a ski racer. And so we
Mhm.
were both, yeah, we were both really keen to create something. I mean, I think if you create a product selfishly that is
Mhm.
performance driven, then it's going to be successful.
Sure.
Because I know that I needed it. And like you said, I ski and I'm very fortunate to ski a lot more days than most people. So my body does break down, and I've got a lot of history of pain, and I don't want to pill pop anymore. I mean, that's the thing. I spent a lot of my race career masking pain and
Yep.
going through it, just trying to, and needs must. I've got to take this pill so that I can ski today, and then I got this pill to help me recover. And at the end of the day, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to find other more holistic ways to be pain free. And actually, that's why this product was something that I'm really passionate about, and to get out there to other people, because I
Absolutely.
lived in pain for so many years, for 10 years every morning. I hated when people asked me and my team how I felt before 10:30 in the morning, because my painkillers and hadn't kicked in, and I was like, well, I feel terrible, but I know that I've got to go 70 miles an hour today, so don't ask me yet. Ask me from 10:30. Whereas now I feel like I've just learned how to not just manage it, but push my body to a place where I'm healthy and happy with pain.
Absolutely, and I love the honesty of the professional athlete, which is a thing now. People don't try to hide it as much, but there's a lot of pain masking, and even if you
Mm.
do the work, like if you're training and everything, it still hurts.
Yeah.
Another Olympian. Did anybody see Lindsey Vaughn's picture of her last knee surgery? What it looked like in there it was disgusting. I'm sure it was the
Yeah.
same as you. I
Yeah,
mean,
we're patchwork.
yeah,
We definitely put it all
absolutely.
on the line for the sport that we love. I mean, Lindsay more than most, and her ability to charge coming back from every one of those injuries and put herself in that danger zone again was absolutely second to none and remarkable. But it's that mentality that you have where you will sacrifice your physical being for your professional gains. But there does come to a point in life, and that's Lindsay's at that now, where you don't want to have that anymore. And I realized that that's something we have this kind of. It's not an addiction. It's not like Yeah, I mean, maybe it is, but actually pain doesn't have to be part of it. Pain isn't
Mm.
pleasure.
No, no, God, no. God, I don't know. Like, I get it. I get working through it, but there comes a time where, even if say someone says, "What are you, a wuss?" I say, "Yes. Yes, I am now. I am a wimp and I'm not doing it anymore," which is all in good fun. It's joking, of course. There does come a time though, literally, when you have to take a look and stop. And I'm not even a professional. I'm just some dumb ski
And
bum
exactly, and if we
idiot.
can provide products that help people keep going and doing healthy, beneficial things both mentally and physically, then that's fantastic. We've
It
had
is.
people say they haven't been able to ski more than a day and they put the Embrace leggings on and they're doing a whole week back to back. And, we know financially it's getting more challenging to have time in the mountains. So actually getting more bang for your buck is so important, and investing a little bit in products that help you prolong that endurance that you have and that power is amazing.
It is amazing. Back to testing. How many so you and your husband, family thing, that's gotta be cool. That's gotta be a lot of fun.
Not together.
Uh,
We're never in the same place together.
oh, well, all right,
Yeah.
maybe that's the secret to a happy marriage then, I don't know. Um, but how many I gotta know, how many pairs did you actually have to test? Like, did this become a weekly
Ooh.
thing where Geoff is like, "Here's the newest version, and then here's version 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, stay on the mountain. Yeah, I know you have a life, but still keep testing."
I think we only had three
Really?
phases actually,
Okay. Actually, I think Geoff
because
did say that.
we were really strict on the first design. Like, we were like, we're not
Mhm.
making this until we've gone round in circles and looked at every single detail on this. And the core straps was massive, and that was really important. And I did a lot of demoing to Geoff about how skiing with a long, tall back, because your hips are in the wrong position, means you can't have shin pressure. So actually, by turning on your transverse abs, you can push your knees forward an extra inch, which means you've got more control or speed over your skis. And so there was a lot of chat that went into before the first design. And then, yeah, I think there were only three different. And
Hmm.
I started skiing on dry slope. I was using them on dry slope, and then in Hemel
Okay.
in the snow dome, and then I went to the mountains. The funny thing about going to the mountains with them was, because I was like changing the pairs all the time, testing them quite vigorously, I just didn't put trousers on top of them because it was
Yep.
warm. And that you get a lot of warmth from from the compression and the double layer of
Mm.
neoprene. So, but everyone just kept stopping and asking me about them. Like, people haven't seen new products in our industry for so long that everyone wanted to know about them. And I was like, I'm trying to do like a secret test here because they're not finally. And then everyone wants to buy them. I'm like, no, no,
Mhm.
you can't buy them. I'm testing them. Like, we're actually putting this through its paces. You can't buy
That's
them yet,
awesome.
but keep watching this space, and I'll let you know. And but they drew so much attention so quickly that you knew it was going to be a success.
Absolutely, like, in that kinda thing where you're selling them before you're even ready, it's like, give the
Yeah.
lady a 5 minutes to finish, gosh darn it. Yeah, and in the video, in the demo video on the website, you and the other gentleman, is that your husband in the video, or is that someone else
No,
testing?
no, no, that's another guy. Yeah, that's Guy. He is
Okay.
my uh step brother, actually. Kept
Oh.
it in the family.
Oh, yeah, absolutely you did. Holy smokes. And you're definitely going at it in the video with them open. You can wear them as outerwear, but Geoff explained to us they are not waterproof. So definitely
No.
um
Yeah.
you definitely have to think about that, but it doesn't matter. Like, gosh, no one even knows you're wearing them. That's how well I think they fit personally.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's a credit to them too. Like, I throw my, my regular pants on top of them and I don't even know they're there. So that's beautiful too. And again, the boot cut, I'm glad you came up with that. Somebody came up with that. That's fantastic. I love it. I don't want anything in my boots. I don't even really want socks in my
No.
boots if I can help it, but I can't help
Do
it.
you
That's
shave your shins, Tim? How
no,
much are you committing to this? Because then
not
that
that
would help
much.
you too.
See, I didn't even know that. Is that a thing? Is that
Yeah.
real?
Yeah. Yeah.
How does that
Well, think about
work?
your connection. Think about your connection.
Huh.
You've got better. Oh, here we go.
Dude, I never thought of that. All right, we're going from the product. The product's awesome. IMBRACE.com. Now we're getting into tips. Chemmy's gonna teach excuse me, he's gonna teach us how to ski better. I didn't know that was a thing. Is that like a pro tip? Is that thing something people do?
Yeah, I think so. Cyclists do it for aerodynamics, and and skiers do it for feeling. I mean,
I had
you
no
can commit
idea.
to a lot of strange things to be the very fastest version of yourself. You could have a mullet. That is the fastest haircut in the wind tunnel that we tested.
Bottom
I
line,
didn't do it.
if
I didn't do it. I mean,
I
I
think you should
committed a lot to being fast, but that wasn't something I was prepared to do.
I think you should, because that's awesome, and I wish I could, but my hair has to stay kinda short these days, and I have no choice in that. So, all kinds of stuff you can do, man. That is fantastic. I don't know, I may have to try that, get out the razor and shave everything down. That might be a lot of fun. Stay tuned to the SkierX Media podcast for that. That's kind of that's fun. Great product though. It is awesome that you did it. Actually, they fit tight enough around your shin. That might not even be an issue anymore, but they do work great. And obviously you make them work great because you're a pro. Now, no self-deprecation intended, no joking intended. I don't ski on her level. That's a fact. But it doesn't matter. This isn't a pros only product. This is an every
Definitely not.
person's product.
Yeah, yeah. This is a product for people who want their performance to increase. I kind of talk about it like a cheap product, because straight away in the morning, as an athlete, I used to get up and do, and I still do a little bit, half an hour of activation, get your core engaged. You know, people don't have that time in real life. So with this product, with those core booster straps, you tighten them up at the first thing in the morning, and you'll feel that tension around your core
Absolutely.
and your back and your spine. It will engage in a way that you've already done. That is your activation. You know, you don't
Yes.
have to spend hours getting up early, and already your body is in a safer position for you to then work on your performance. And it really helps with that as well. You know, the power through the ITB bands, it helps, especially
Mhm.
women. We have a tendency to have our A frame, but it really pulls your knees over your toes, and you get that pendulum motion. And it means that you can actually work your inside ski. You know, when we all learned to ski in the 80s, 90s, it was all about outside ski. But actually, with the parabolic skis now, it's not about a one edge ski. It's loading on your Oscar winning outside edge, but you need that supporting actor or actress on the inside to make a great turn. And you
Absolutely.
need to be able to use them both. And so it's the performance side as well that's really important. And then obviously for anyone who's had history of injury or is worried about any knee security, that kind of the tension around the knee and the support really helps.
It really does. And again, that's been my biggest takeaway is the knee. Like you said, that's probably the most on anybody's mind. That's their most, that's what they're thinking about most. Granted, core is a big issue. Um, or
I mean, I think for
guy.
the women's comes up just below your bra line. So
Sure.
actually, a lot of the women who try it, the first thing they say is, "Oh my gosh, I feel like I've kind of got that corset of strength on." And
Mm,
so that the power for women, especially because our hips are so imperative to our life, especially if we've had kids,
mhm.
is that power through that middle and having that control through your turn. You know, when you come out of the turn and you get that slingshot effect, being able to control that with your core so that you're safe and you're connected to the snow is really important.
That is that, and take her word for it. If anybody knows how to turn a pair of skis, she knows how to turn a pair of skis, and obviously the female body. Now, when Geoff talked about it, he said you brought in, and we did talk about it being able to add the heat to it. I've done it with the men's pair in the back. It's very cool. Women could do it in the front as well for the various reasons. You've tried that, I assume. How awesome is that?
It's so good. I mean, Tim, I think it's really important that we say the word period, by the way.
Yeah, no, by all
I think
means, yeah.
when we get our period, we do, all of our energy goes inside, obviously, because there's a lot going on there. And actually, so to heat and warmth the outside it makes you just feel so safe, and it does help with the pain management massively. So I mean, it's such a small detail, but it has such a big output at certain times when we need it.
And you know what? It's brilliant because you say, as you said, it's a small detail, but it seems to be like it would be an obvious one to me.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
because I mean, I don't know about the rest of yous, but I've met a lot of women in my day, you know, and they all get their period. That's
Yeah.
humanity. That's being human.
And the cramps
And
that you get, and you just want heat, but you want to be able to ski too because you're on your ski holiday that you've spent like ages saving for, and you can't control those dates. So you're like, right, well, what can I do? I can provide some comfort with warmth.
absolutely. And the thing is, like, that's where I was going, is like small detail, but it seems obvious to me. Yet, as I've looked around, it is unique. Like you and the Embrace team were the only ones so far to figure this out. I
Yeah,
think. I'm
so
pretty
weird.
sure. It is a
So, I
little
mean, you can
weird.
go to the pharmacy and buy those kind of like heat stick-on patches, I think. I've seen those,
Sure.
but I mean, maybe that was only in Switzerland, but you can buy them. But yeah, in terms of having it as a kind of in-out, like easy access to support, I don't think so. Very
No,
strange. Maybe it's
it's one of
revolutionary. It's, innovation. Everyone will be doing
it's
it.
it's the future. It really is. It's 21st century, and even for, like I said, I've put heat packs in the back of mine. It's the same idea. I mean, I'm not
No,
trying to
the
oversell
mobility
the
is massive.
yeah, I'm not trying to oversell it, but it is a unique product at which a lot of thought went into. Even if it seems obvious, it's still a lot of thought, and it helps everyone on every level do a lot
Hmm.
of different things. And like I've said it, I've taken them off and feel like I'm going to fall apart. I don't even want to take them off. I'll sleep in them. Now, let's go into, so Jeff and I did touch on the durability for the design of it. Now, when you put it through its paces, did you stick, then you said you went from dry to indoor to outdoor, which is awesome. Shout out to indoor skiing. I really get a kick out of it. I enjoy it. But did you put it, did you just stop at the recreational end, or did you really try it out? Like, did you get out on course and really just hammer into these things to make sure they'll not fall apart?
Oh my God, when I did my course run the other day, it was like the first thing I laid out the night before. Like I just
Nice.
wanted that confidence. I knew I was taking risk with what I was doing. So I
Mhm,
wanted my body to be in the best shape that it could be. And,
mhm.
I've had two kids and I'm not as strong as I used to be, but I'm still trying to ski this women's World Cup piece, which was a really challenging piece that day. Actually, we had a huge amount of crashes afterwards. And so I knew I was at my comfort zone. So I all you can do is what you prepare beforehand. And part of my
Sure.
preparation was, obviously putting the Embrace through the paces in training and then using them for that run. And it was, I mean, there was no chance that I would have not worn them. I
And
mean,
there you go.
yeah.
Say the majority of us are recreational, but if you're gonna be out on course, man, put them on. Even if you're just hanging out at like Thursday night race league, it's a lot of fun. Do yourself a favor and put them on, man. That's awesome, man. I love it. I can't say enough good things about the product. Am I missing anything? Anything else we need to go over? I mean, I'm
No,
not
I
getting rid of
don't
you. I'm
think
not done
so.
yet, but I want to make sure I'm thorough here because Jeff and I talked about it, and everything to me is interesting. Like, yeah, it's a ski product, sure, Ski Rex Media, but it's a retail product. Tim from retail, that's what I used to do. It's got what some people wouldn't consider technology because we're so used to those components and those materials, but they're not put together this way. And like I said, it's a unique product. I've looked around. Even Jeff said there's similar things, but they're not. This again takes steps above what you normally get, and that's the beauty of having someone like you who knows what they're talking about. Get it built and get it done.
Yeah, I feel like almost the calling them leggings is almost derogatory to what they do because they really change the control that you have through your core and the power in your body, not just your lower body. Like it really starts with around the belly button. I mean, I remember I had my belly button pierced before my first Olympics. I had this titanium rod through it, and I didn't finish one slalom, and I took it out the night before Salt Lake City, the
Mhm.
combined event, and I finished the slalom, and I came 14th in that race, and I realized that this metal work in my core was like really inhibiting my power, like my control of switching on all my abs. And actually, there's quite a lot of
Huh.
evidence with that. So actually connecting our lower body to our core for someone who likes snow sports is imperative for performance.
Yes.
They're not two separate things. We talk about separation a lot, but separation is using your upper body to weight your lower body. But this
Yeah.
part, we don't talk about this core enough and the power that it has.
That's that's interesting. I have not even considered that a belly ring could throw off your game
I
because
mean,
it's
I'm
a
quite
little.
superstitious as well, but so I probably, went down this conspiracy hole where I found this article that said metalwork going through your core wasn't helpful. But I mean, I believed it, and I didn't ever put it back in, and I finished a
I
lot of
mean,
songs afterwards.
and there you go. I mean, I would believe it. Like we know to think of the human body as a machine. It is. It's a machine. If you take any kind of machine racing, if you have a little piece of something hanging off or built in the wrong way, it's going to throw off the mechanics completely. So I would buy that 100%. Whoever figured that out, look me up because I buy it. I'm into it. I
Okay,
don't
okay,
have
that is
that.
my personal opinion on it.
Fair enough. I still buy into it. The only piercing I have is in my ear, and I haven't noticed that affecting my performance, but you never know. Maybe my ears are cold because of it. Who knows? So Imbrace.com, Chemmy Alcott definitely is just a face. We know if you follow professional ski racing, you know who she is from back in the day, when we were all younger and in our 20s and 30s. We're all in our 40s now, but just which is fine too. That's fine. Um, how how into it are you still? Do you still like snow sports and skiing? Did it become just a job and you started to hate it for a while?
Well, put it this way, I had a day off today, and I'm in Andorra, and it's 15 degrees, but I still went out to find snow for skiing for 7 hours because it
Good
doesn't
woman.
really matter. I love the mountains. I love the enjoyment of it. I love the expression that you get. It's not, I think I've spent so long in this zone where it was all about racing that now it's really fun to explore creativity. And I obviously work with a snowboarder, and so his mindset is all about progression and creativity and tricks. So it's really fun to kind of slightly try and venture into that world. I do believe if I'd gone further into the more freestyle stuff when I was younger, I'd be a better racer. Because
Hmm.
it's just about that all-round talent, and I didn't have spatial awareness in the air that I would have if I'd done more jumps. And it's just finding people that still inspire you to try new things on the mountain. And the other day, Ed and I switched. So he's a snowboarder, I'm a skier, but for our show, we swapped and taught each other. And it was one of the
Nice.
most enjoyable things, seeing the other out their comfort zone. And for me to be a beginner on the mountain and to feel what others feel when they're on their snow sport experience was really important and so fun. I mean, the
That's
progression you make
awesome.
from learning is really great.
It really is. That's actually very cool. I can't relate too much. I've never gotten the hang of a snowboard. I have tried it. I give up. Um,
You
but
need
it's
a better
interesting.
teacher, Tim.
That's true too. Yeah, 100%. See, here's a tip from me to everybody. Never let your friends teach you. Never let your boyfriend or girlfriend teach you. Never let your husband or
Yeah.
wife teach you. Go
But
get the
I
professional to teach you.
despise this kind of old school, you're a skier or a snowboarder and you don't like each other. People
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh, you're a snow. I'm like, oh, that's so old school. Like, we all love the mountains. We're all expressing ourselves in different ways. It doesn't have to be the same, whether you're a telemarker, whether you're a snowboarder, a skier, even cross country skiing, whatever you're doing, you're out there enjoying nature. And yeah, that's something that really irritates me still
Yeah.
when people say that.
No, and I get it 100%. I've said that. I tell people all the time, like, my best friend rides a snowboard. And so when we go out, it's one two planker, one single planker. That's it. And, it doesn't matter. I know snowboarders, I know skiers, I know cross country people in telemark and guys who can ride the mono ski with both feet on one plank. I can't do that.
My
But
dad does that.
really, I'm always
Yeah.
impressed by that. There's no way my technique has never been good enough to do that. Not self-deprecating, not anything. That's a legit technical, thing. I couldn't do it. That's awesome. I
It's
saw
so
one the other
good.
day.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
I was in a cafe
fantastic.
the other day in Italy and they had one on the wall, and I was kind of a
Nice.
bit cocky and I said to the guy, how does that get off the wall and on the mountain? He's like, never. You want to have a go? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And he goes and gets
Nice.
a ladder and undrills it from the wall, and it's this like 2 meter purple oh gosh,
Awesome.
mono ski, and the run I had to do it on was like the longest run ever. So I pulled all the side muscles and my calves, but it was very fun. I mean, it's fun. I just think it's fun to get out of your comfort zone on the mountain.
Try something different, man. That's all it's about. If
Yeah.
you're into the new, right now we're me and some of my media colleagues and friends have been debating the snow bikes. Some
Oh
people say
yeah,
get them off the. Some people say get them off the mountain. I say I don't care. It doesn't bother me. It's about the person who's using it. I ride ski boards, well under 100 centimeters. We all there's different things and there's different levels of fun, and do what you want. I don't care.
yeah.
Just as long as you're not being a jerk,
I
what
saw
do
a
I
couple of
care?
sets of snow blades today. You know, those big feet, those
Excellent.
tiny things, yeah,
Yep.
shaking their way down the mountain.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. I love it. I tell people all the time they're great. They have a lot of pros, they have a lot of cons, but then so does every piece of equipment. A lot of pros, a lot of cons. I don't know nothing. I wore my Imbrace leggings with my ski board. So there you go. Tie it back in, man. So where you at right now then? You're in Andorra, just hanging out,
I'm in
just doing
Andorra.
work.
I'm working. We're covering the race this weekend, the women's giant slalom on Saturday. So
Ah,
yeah, and then we've got one more show left next week. Our show, we're pre-filming, but our show's on Crans Montana. And
okay.
then that's Ski Sunday finish for this season.
Excellent. Now, is this a World Cup race or is this
Hmm.
a local
Yeah,
race?
World
World
Cup.
Cup.
Yeah.
So then, even though this is going to come out next Wednesday, so the race will have come and gone. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Schifrin's out still hurt, and Vilhova's out hurt now too. What's it shaping up to be? Who's going to be on top then if the two tops are gone
Yeah, and
for GS and slalom?
Goggia broke her leg 2 days ago as well, Sophia, and she's been skiing really well in GS. I think the GS is going to be Lara Gut, Sarah Hector, Alice Robinson, and maybe Ragnar Mowinkle. There's my
Fair enough.
1 to 4.
All right, so check back, look at the standings, see if she was right. I wouldn't be surprised though. Laura Goot's ridiculous. She won here at Killington GS. She
Yeah,
was
she's
number
skiing
one,
great.
I think. Or was she number two that day? No, she was number one. Alice Robinson
Yeah,
was
she
number
won.
two,
Yeah.
and Schifrin was number three. That's what it was. Um, have you been? If you're traveling all over the place, this is something I got to ask because I didn't get to ask this of the athletes while we were all in Killington. Um, People love that race for a lot of reasons. The women say they love the courses and they love the crowd. They say the crowd is
Mm,
ridiculous.
yeah, it's the
Sophie
best women's
Goldsch,
crowd.
yeah, and that's also Sophie Goldschmidt, also UK, who runs US Ski and Snowboard here. She said there's no crowd like it anywhere on the planet. Have you gotten to go? Have you been able to go check
No,
that out
I've
or
never
no?
done Killington, but I went to school at Waterville Valley Academy, which I don't even know if that still exists in New Hampshire. Yeah,
I was just down there.
no way. There you go.
Shout out to Waterville. Shout out to Tim Smith,
Yeah.
president and CEO. I'm not CEO, general manager of Waterville. I didn't know you would. So, all right, then that's all right. All right, Imbrace. Awesome. Great. Now we'll get into it, the interview. That's fine. So, your career was here in the US at that academy. How did you end up here?
So at my dry ski slope, which was called Sandown Park, is an 8-second slope. It's got a
Mhm.
90-degree dog leg in it. It's got 2 slalom gates, then a banana, and 3. We had a racer called Alex Heath, who was a South African ski racer, but
Sure.
he went to Waterville Valley Academy, and then a lot of our club then followed him over there. I only went for November and December, but I went 4 years in November and December,
Sure.
and it was amazing. It was a massive like maturity growth for me. I learned how to ski ice. I got frostbite,
Nice. Love frostbite. I've had it a few
but
times.
it was a real amazing experience. It was really fun.
Nice. Now Waterville Valley's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. Now,
Yeah,
where you're from, are you a city person or was
I
that
live in
a
London.
culture shock? Okay, so you are a city
Yeah.
person. Very good. What was that culture shock then?
I mean, I was very obsessed with being the best ski racer that I could be. So I was
Sure.
already fortunate to be traveling the world, and I went to New Zealand when I was 10 by myself.
Mhm.
So I'd been to some pretty remote places, but all I wanted to do was ski race. And Waterville was incredible because I was living in this house, a homestay, the Andersons, big shout out to them, um,
Nice.
who I think Pete Anderson is one of the coaches of the US ski team now. But he was one of the athletes, and we'd all live in the same house. And it was just everyone wanted to be a ski racer. So instead of being this freak from London, I was this just in a group of like-minded young kids who all wanted to push themselves on the mountain and work hard physically. And then we had to go to school as well.
Yeah, well, sometimes you gotta work.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. I love Waterville. I was just down there for the dual moguls. I didn't make moguls day, but dual moguls day I did. A lot of fun, much different than at the Alpine disciplines, but still very interesting, very fun to watch. Waterville Valley, man, nobody can say enough good things about the place. I love the place. I love hanging out there. I even got to meet one of the Sununu family while I was down there. So shout out to American politics. I don't think he's a politician, but his brother is governor. So I think it's his brother. Is that how it works? I don't know. There's so many of them. Anyway, that's incredible. I had no idea you were here in the US and New England. People love New England for alpine training. Burke Mountain Academy has spit out world-class champions. Clearly, Waterville Academy spit out some champions too. That's amazing, man. I love that. I love Waterville. Shout out to Waterville, man. I love it. That's great. So you were here for that. Then was it from there? Where did you go? Where did you end up?
Well, then I went, but I finished my school in the UK. And then 6 months after leaving school, I did my first Olympics at Salt Lake. And then I did 4 Olympics. So a big 20-year chunk of my life was chasing the Olympics, trying to be the best that I could be, trying to be healthy. Fortunately, my injuries happened not on Olympic years, so I was very lucky to not miss an Olympics. And then I retired 2014 in Sochi.
And that was it.
Yeah, and then I went into this life.
Now, was that a full retirement, or was that just chasing Olympics? Did you still competitive?
So I actually remember there was massive expectations when I finished the downhill at Sochi that I would announce my retirement in the finish, and I was on such a high. I had such a buzz, and the adrenaline was flowing, and I had a great run. I was 18th, but I hadn't done much skiing because I'd broken my leg a lot in the last few years beforehand. And I was like, no, I'm going to keep going. And then I kept going. I went to one more World Cup, Crans Montana, and I crashed again. And I went to see my surgeon who'd operated a lot on my leg. And he said to me, listen, I saw what it meant to make that Sochi Olympics, but you're sacrificing the rest of your life just skiing if you keep racing because of how patched up your leg is and how many forces you have. So it was kind of nice because I don't think I would ever retire. I love the sport and I still do. But actually to have someone put things in perspective when you've got a huge amount of metalwork running through your leg was really helpful. It kind of took the control away, and that was me then retiring.
Yep. Oh, very good. So 2014, you've been out for 10 years. You work in, let's see, broadcasting, and, not uncommon for pro athletes to go into broadcasting, commentary, or coaching or whatever that. Did you ever get into any of the coaching or any of that stuff?
Yeah. I coached Lindsey Vonn, actually, kind of.
There you go.
It was one of my first coaching jobs, and Julia Mancuso is one of my best friends, and she asked me to come to Val d'Isère and help the team. And Lindsey won the race, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. But I have a coaching business with my husband called Carpe Diem Coaching, CDC.
Nice.
And we coach every age from 8 years old to 88. Our oldest client is 88. So we do masters racing as well. And it's all school holidays. We run a professional program, but around the British school system so that people don't have to sacrifice their social and academic skills. So do a bit of coaching, a lot of brand work, as you said, broadcasting, and I do a lot of motivational speaking, which is something I'm very lucky to do.
Awesome. Look at that. She stays busy and still stays in the industry. Do you get to go recreational a lot, or are you just so busy?
No, I love it. Love it all the time. Yeah, definitely.
Nice.
It's so important to realize that the mountains aren't just for work. They are definitely for play too.
Oh, 100%. Like, I didn't go into this business to work, man. I got into this to play and, meet famous people and whatnot. Excellent. Awesome, man. So much going on. And like I said, I remember watching you ski back in the day. Absolutely. I was watching these Olympics. These were easy ones for the most part, because you have two in North America, so very easy to
Yeah.
watch. And then Sochi was kind of a pain, but then I was younger then, so I was staying up till all hours of the night, so I could watch it.
Mhm.
That's the problem with the Olympics. I feel is that that streaming hasn't fixed is that if you live in one country on one side of the planet and they're having their events on the other
Yeah.
side, you kind of have to try. You're likely not getting the
You want it
live
live.
broadcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a lot of fun, and like I always say though, if you can get to an event, doesn't matter, go live. That Killington thing, a lot of fun. The Waterville World Cup, a lot of fun, and I'm sure you still have a lot of fun too, just watching.
And isn't it Salt Lake? They're about to announce that Salt Lake's getting the. Is it the 2034 Olympics or 2030? Or I think there's a
Um,
bid going down. There's some big chats about it.
let's see
Tim, you should
here.
know this. You should
I
definitely
sh-
know this.
I barely know my own name half the time. I can't remember anything. I have to have your like Olympic stats up, or I will not remember them. In fact, goodness gracious, as as someone in the media, I have to keep a cheat sheet at like the Killington race to say, all right, this is you, because the face may be familiar, but the name, and there's so
Oh,
many of these women.
that's all right. Everyone does that. I do that, and I know all
Oh,
the girls. Don't worry about that.
oh
Yeah,
my
that's what
goodness.
preparation's for.
No, here's what I worry about as a media person. Let's see if you can relate to this being in broadcasting. Um, I find that, and again, I know this information is important, but I feel like we're standing there. There's, we're talking mostly to Michaela Schifrin, we're talking mostly to Paula Molson, and then whoever else is on the podium. Okay. All the questions are exactly the same. Like I feel like when Michaela Schifrin won the slalom, she placed first this year at Killington. That's 6 out of 7 firsts. I feel like to ask her how do you feel is kind of a waste of her time. I don't know. What do you think about that?
I mean, you're just giving them a portal to chat. Um, my big tip for you is that athletes. Well, when I mentor athletes, I'm like, right. Sometimes journalists and broadcasters don't ask you what you want to answer. Always give them something interesting. Answer what you've prepared and something cool. You don't have to answer the question they're giving. They are trying to, get something out of you that is a story. So think about that. Think about the opportunity you have to use your voice to be passionate about
Love
something
it.
you believe in. So that's something
Love
that
it.
you don't have to answer questions. Just say something interesting. Say something different.
Man, tell a joke if you want. I feel like sometimes journalism takes the fun out of it. Like we forget about the fun. Although, and shout out to my boy Rudy who was there. He did ask Paula Molson what her favorite donut was. That was pretty awesome. That was a lot of fun. I bombed a joke so hard in front of Wendy Holdner. She looked at me like I had three heads, and
She didn't get
rightfully
it.
so. I don't know if she didn't get it, if she didn't really hear it,
She's
or if
got
it
a
was
good
just,
sense of humor too, Tim. So it must have been a bad joke.
oh dude, it was awful. I bombed so hard. It was hysterical for everybody who was standing there. Like, dude, I was like, someone suggested, well, this, I was like, they all speak English. Everybody speaks English nowadays. It's there's no fun there. And I was like, she heard, and oh, it was awful. Not embarrassing, just awful. I embrace my biffs. If I screw up, I screw up. I actually bombed one in front of Schifrin too, but it wasn't as bad. So that's okay, because she during
She gets
the
it. She's like quirky. She's made mistakes too. And I think that she
well,
would resonate with that, someone not handling that limelight
yeah.
well.
But
She's
the
very
more I tell
honest.
to say when I tell the story though, I still think it's funny that I'm bombing jokes in front of people who people see on TV and that's all they see them. And here I get to bomb a joke in front of them. That's still kind of awesome. In fact, the Schifrin joke had something to do. She was on the podium doing an interview with Doug Lewis. Actually, we know him, and she let the S word fly, which made me laugh because I know that NBC and I don't know about other countries what they have to do, but because of our rules during that type of broadcast, you have to bleep it or whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
And so I made a joke about that, and it didn't land, but just fine too. I thought it was funny. I don't care. And then she ended up having to go when we were talking about, oh, maybe this will be the evil Michaela era. Like when Tiger Woods came back after all his stuff and he had the goatee and stuff, we thought, oh, she's gonna be like hardcore and metal and make her hair all black and be fun. Which is just stupid. I know. It's just me trying to salvage my bomb, but it's a lot of fun in journalism. I don't lie about that, but sometimes I feel like we're a little boring, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that you always have to kind of show that vulnerability. Actually, saying jokes that don't work in front of them, then they can take the mickey out of you, and you can have a rapport. And that's the most
Yeah,
important thing is having some kind of special energy between you, where they trust that they can be themselves. Because so many of them have so much media training now that you don't often see the real person, but actually
yep,
the real person is who will be much more relatable to every
absolutely.
single person watching at home than the media trained legend in
Yes.
front of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Take your media training. Of course, take it. You're going to need it. Get in the habit of not using swear words where it's inappropriate. But beyond that, say what you want, do what you want. Paula
Yeah, be
Molson,
yourself.
I loved Paula Molson because I was mostly impressed by this. After she pulled her boots off and put her sneakers on, she put two hands on the media fence and hopped it, which the rest of us were sliding around. So shout out to balance training. But, she was there. She was giving high fives. She was taking pictures with the kids. And that's my big thing too. Like, I will never get in the way of the kids. If the kids want to see these people,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the next generation. So
yeah, yeah.
I'll back it up. And I mean, she took somebody's baby. Like, I don't know if it was a friend, family, maybe it was hers. I don't know. But she took a baby and walked off with it. Absolutely awesome. Love her to death. She's incredible. It's a lot of fun though. I will say, if you're ever interested in a challenge, that could be fun. Get into media and journalism. It's a lot of fun there. I had something else about that, but I forgot what it was. See, my memory's shot. Doesn't matter. But we're getting close to our hour, and I'm working so hard to keep these under an hour because I keep Chemmy on here for another 3 days, easy, talking
Ah,
journalism and her life and Waterville Valley and all this stuff. But we won't, because she's also 6 hours ahead, so it's almost dinner time for her. So anything else? What do we want to plug? Imbrace. We both plug Imbrace. IMBRACE.com. For me, if you use the code SKIREX10, SKIREX10, you get 10% off. That's
boom.
internationally. There you go. That's internationally as well. So 10% off your currency, not 10% off your dollar or your pound or your euro or whatever you have. It's 10% off your currency. Anything you want to put out there?
No, I think that's great. I mean, I think it's hard to not just make it a sales pitch, but it's something that I believed in to the extent that I hounded Geoff to make it. So I'm very
Mhm.
proud that we've made it and it's making a difference to people already this winter. I mean, that's great.
Absolutely. And I agree with it. I don't think I had the interest on the level that you have because I haven't shown them off and I wasn't in that testing phase, but anybody who has seen them has asked me about it. Like, wait, what is this? And I was like, this is awesome. That's what this is. So go get a pair. So pick those up. Imbrace.com. Ms. Chemmy Alcott, thank you very much. This was awesome.
Thank
I had fun.
you. Thanks for
Thank you.
having me, Tim.
100%. Stay on the line here while I stop this, and I'll come back for my exit later on. Miss Alcott, thank you very much. And there she goes, Chemmy Alcott, man. A lot of fun. How much fun was that episode, man? I really liked that one. She's awesome. We may have to exploit this and get her back on. That was a lot of fun. Again, we were talking mostly about the Imbrace Snow Sports Leggings and her experience with helping develop them, where the ideas came from, how her experience as an alpine racer went into it, how her experience as a female has gone into it, and how, as we all know, if you want to make a great product, man, research, R&D, research and development. Research is a huge part of development. So you got to get all the information you can, and she has plenty of information being an ex-alpine racer, Olympic class. So that was a lot of fun. Again, we were promoting Imbrace more than anything. So imbrace.com, IMBRACE.com, as you heard. Link is in the description with the code SKIREX10. Get you 10% off. If you want more information about Miss Alcott, go ahead and look her up. Chemmy space Alcott. And you'll get all kinds of stuff. I don't think she actually has a website of her own. I looked for it, didn't see it, but she is on social media, so you can check that out as well. I'm sure I tagged her in the episode post, right? Also, as I finish up this recording, finish up this recession, get this episode ready for everyone, the call that she made, the guess she made for who's going to be top at GS, I believe she said, this weekend, hasn't happened yet. It hasn't. You're going to be hearing this after, so take a look at my social media. I'll tell you how close she was, what the actual outcome was Laura Gut, number one again, rising. I can't say rising. She's been around a bit, but a GS star. I've seen her ski in person. She's very good. I've seen her take number one on the podium in person. A lot of fun. Check that out. I'll make sure we revisit that to see where it landed, right? Right. I am Tim from Ski Rex Media. Thank you once again for joining the Ski Rex Media podcast and listening to the Ski Rex Media podcast. I really hope you enjoyed it. You could tell me if you did. Again, skirexmedia.com. You could go there. You can find the email link, the SpeedPipe voicemail link, anything else. Yes, DMs from social media. You could get in touch with me and tell me what you thought of the episode. You can also rate the episode in various places. Various podcast apps allow you to rate the podcast. I've had 5-star ratings on Apple Podcasts, so there you go. So get in touch with me if you have something to say, a criticism, a critique. If you want to send a shout out through the podcast, whatever it is, I'm always looking for, fan interaction, and I'll put it here. If you have questions, queries, concerns, criticisms, and a happy anniversary, happy birthday, an obituary, I don't mind going a little dark, whatever it is, let me know. Tim from Ski Rex Media here. I aim to please, and I'm here to serve, right? Right. Thank you for listening to the Ski Rex Media podcast, my friends. I'm not sure who's going to be on next week, if I'm going to have a guest, if I'm going to go back to solo. I'm not sure yet. We'll see, and I hope you're there for it, right? Right. Thank you, everyone. Tim from Ski Rex Media, and I am about to head out to Whaleback, and I will see you on the next one, and I'll see you out there, man. It's February. Season's going to be over soon, the outside season here in the Northern Hemisphere. We got February, March, April, maybe part of May. We'll see how it turns out. So let's all get out there, and I'll see you out there. Later.